Hello people! Today we're doing another set of Valentine nails, this Pink Panther Tweed set. I had seen a couple different people doing a tweed last year, Natalie Mugridge and Dorota Palka. So you might want to check out both of those because they have some really beautiful nail sets. And anyway, away we go. This whole set is going to be done with Beetles polish. Yay, I finally got a whole set of all one polish. I've started off with some prepped medium length coffin tips. And we're going in with this pale pink as our base color on all the nails. Now this set took me about 3 hours to do. There's really nothing difficult about it at all, so I think pretty much anybody should be able to do these. It's just time consuming. And also, this is a 4-color tweed. I'm thinking in the future probably 3 colors will be sufficient. And, well, when we get down to the top coating part, I'll talk about that more. But okay, we're going in here with the second coat now. It might not have been necessary to do a second coat on all these because most of them are going to be covered up with the tweed part, which is going to add a lot more layers of polish. But I did 2 coats anyway. I was really liking how these came out. Well, I still like how they came out. I'm still happy with them, but I had to, well, we'll just get into it now. I had to top coat over the tweed because I did it with polish and not painting gel. So I lost some of my texture and definition. So in the future, I recommend you do use painting gel for that. Okay, we're going in firstly with this glitter polish, and I'm going to mark out my lines and to section these off how I want them to be. On the thumbnail, it's going to be not a perfect diagonal, but we're going to have a diagonal portion on there. Now your stripe does not have to be absolutely perfect for this part because we're going to go over these again at the end. But moving along, just doing they're all going to have a different kind of pattern area to them. This one is not exactly half and half. We're just going to have the tip part of this one will be the tweed and the top will be, well, the Pink Panther will be on there. Now that line has gotten a bit thick and out of hand, so I'm just going to use my cleanup brush. I'm going to take some of it back off and thin it out, like so. I apologize ahead of time if I'm a little sniffly. My allergies have been acting up the last couple of days. And moving on, this is the ring finger, I believe. And this one is going to have a tweed on the bottom and the top, and it's going to have a section in the center that will be where the Pink Panther is going to be. And this is the middle finger. Now this is the one that's going to have the heart. Now right here, this is the hardest part of this whole set right here. Is just getting your heart on there and have it be symmetrical. This was the one part I was kind of dreading because As we all know, my hand painting skills are not the greatest, especially when I'm trying to get things to come out the same on both sides. But we got one half of it on there successfully, and then we got to do the other half. I think this one came out pretty decent. The one on the other hand, I think has got one part of the roundy part of the heart there at the top. I think is a little bit lower on the other one. So it's not exactly the same, but I think I did pretty close on this one. For just eyeballing it and having to paint it in, for me, that was a big deal. But like I said, this is the hardest part of the entire set. So if you can accomplish this part, the rest of it is a cakewalk. And there's where we are so far. The pinky doesn't have any of that on there, so we don't need that one. We're going to cure this. And we'll start our tweed off with the pinky nail. Now I'm going to start off with that glitter polish we just used. Now all you need to do is you're just going to make lines vertically. They're going to be varying in length. You want to try to keep them as thin as you can get them though. You know, when they're really fat, they're not going to look as nice. So try to keep them thin and make sure they're going fairly straight up and down. Because this is supposed to be like a fabric, so it's got to be, the line's got to be horizontal and vertical, not like going off at some weird skewed angle. But we're just going to carry on and paint our lines in a kind of sort of random fashion that some could be shorter, some could be longer. I think that the key is just try to keep them as thin as you can do them. And don't use a big blob on there like I almost just did. Okay, and then when you get all of them that you want on there that way, I'm going to turn the nail this way, and then I'm going to go back and do the exact same thing, but going horizontally now. Another thing about having to top coat these at the end is that this layer with the glittery polish was lost because it got matted, so obviously if it's not going to be glittery, it's not going to show like it was. So and then I kind of have an idea for another set. Ooh, that was way too thick on that one. Of a tweed nail that I'm going to try at some point. And I will definitely be using the gel paints for that so that I don't have to top coat it. And we're moving along. I left this part in real time so you can see how it goes. And I think I'm done with that one. Now I did flash those after each, after I got each color on the nail for that. I did give them a flash cure because I learned my lesson last time I used paint and was making nice thin little stripes on something. I did the whole rack, and by the time I cured them, some of the lines had spread, and so my nice neat stripes were kind of looking wonky, and I was not happy. So I learned that lesson the hard way. Now the rest of these I've got where I've sped them up a bit now, so you get the gist of what we're doing. Actually, when I got done with this layer of the glitter portion of these, I was kind of liking how they looked just with that. And on this one, we're just going all around the outside, leaving the middle heart blank. Don't forget to go down the sides. Sorry, I'm not feeling super chatty today, guys. My nose is making me miserable, and I'm just not in the greatest of moods. A week ago was my birthday, so I don't know what it is, but always around my birthday I always get kind of down. I guess I'm just not happy to be getting older. And moving on to the ring finger now. Or no, this isn't the ring finger. This is the index finger. After we get done with this color on this rack, I will do the rest of them off camera. And then I'm going to show you the layering of the colors, but I'm only going to show you on one nail because it's all going to be the same and you guys don't need to sit through watching me do the same thing over and over on all 10 nails. I'm sure you got more important things to be doing. Okay, and now moving on to the thumb. Now when I get to the end of this thumb, as I'm going to, just before I put it on the rack, I'm going to have an accident with this one, and you're going to see what happens. This is another reason why you should be curing these in between each thing, so you don't do the same thing I've been about to be doing here in a few minutes. And the other way. Once I switch to the polish colors, I will be able to get thinner lines on there. Some of them with these got a little fat. Okay, now I was taking the other rack out. Now did you see that? I just bumped the edge of that with my glove as I went past there. Now look at this mess. Now I have to go back in and fix it. Another good reason to cure, flash cure in between. Now since this is the last nail of the rack, I'm going to put this nail on and cure the whole rack. Okay, we're moving on to the second layer now. And we'll be using this darker, kind of a dark mauve-y pink. You'll notice I don't have gloves on here. This is the next day now. I was so excited to get started on these again because I was really liking how they looked with just the glitter on there that I just went right ahead and started in before I realized I didn't glove up yet. But we're going to carry on. We're going to do the exact same thing we just did. But this time we're going to try to go in between on some of the spots where it's blank. Now you can go over some of the places you've already gone over. You know, it's not that big a deal, but try to get into the areas where there isn't already a line there. That was a little thick, so I'm taking some of the polish back off of it. It's a little hard to see on camera where I'm going with these because it's kind of almost similar to the bottom glitter color. Okay, and then we're going to flip it and go the other way. Now this is the only one I'm going to show you with each new color. After this, I'll do the rest off camera. You're just going to do the same thing on all the rest of them. This is the time-consuming part of this. But as you can see, it's not at all difficult. It just takes time. Okay, and if we're happy with that, we're going to flash that one. And then we're moving on. This is a nude that I'm going to go with next. In hindsight, I probably should have done this one as the last color instead. But I did not. So onward we go. We're going to do the exact same thing again. Now it's going to be a little bit trickier to get places to put it because we've already got two other ones on there. This one doesn't show up on camera very well either, but trust me, it's going on there. Now on some, if you wanted a little less of a certain one of the colors, maybe you wanted less of the darker color and more of the lighter ones, you can do them however you want, or with whatever colors you want. Of the different ones that I've seen people doing, I think I like the ones that have the metallic at the bottom layer the best. I know Natalie did hers that way. I don't think Dorota had any metallic on hers. I think hers was just all paint. They still look awesome though. And the last color, which is kind of a medium pink. And we're gonna, guess what? We're gonna do the same thing again. This is the last layer of it though. See, I thought it looked a lot more like actual fabric when you see it like after this layer is cured, and not it just had more texture and dimension to it. The top coat just kind of really flattened it out, which I wasn't crazy about, but at that point I didn't have a choice. So I suppose I could have just left it untop coated, but I think that will probably lead to problems. It might get peeling or chipping off that way. And when you've got enough of those on and you're happy, we're going to throw that in for curing. Okay, now here's the top coat layer. This is a matte top. I wanted to put it on as thinly as possible. See how the dimension kind of gets mushed? It just doesn't look as nice to me. But you're going to see me putting them on, and then I'm going to wipe them back off. I just have the thinnest layer of it. You're going to see me going over some of them again and again because I'm trying to wipe some of it off. I have sped this up, obviously, but I'm wiping my brush on the bottle, and then I'm going back over trying to get as much of the excess off so I can try to have at least a little bit of texture left on there. That pinky nail had way too much on it. And onto the thumb, and then we're going to cure it after this. Okay, and then we go to cure, and now we're moving on to the stickers. This is a set of Pink Panther stickers. I believe I got this from Amazon. I've had these for probably, maybe a year. So, I don't know. I'm sure if you really wanted them, you could track them down somehow, but I'm pretty sure they came from Amazon. I don't think I got them off Ally. But I could be wrong. Maybe I did. I'm not sure. Anyway, moving along. We're going to start with this guy. Now, I wanted him to look like he's handing that big heart jewel that we're going to be putting on later. So I wanted him to look like he's like leaning out from behind the tweed part. So once we got him on there, we are going to amputate his legs. We're going to go in with an X-Acto knife, or you could cut it off with scissors before you stick it on, I guess. But I thought this would give me the cleanest line. I'm just going to go along that edge where the that metallic glittery stripe is. And we're going to trim that off. And then bye-bye legs and tail. Boop. And we'll just press them in there. Yeah, there's one little piece of glitter on the top of that thumb. I could not get that stuff off. I tried and tried. It just would not come off. So I'm going to have to live with it now. Okay, moving on to the next one. Now you can put them on however you want. I tried to do it so it kind of made sense with where the lines of stuff were. Like, see, this guy is going to be leaning over the top of there. And he just went for a spin. Okay, there we go with that one. Next, in the heart, I wanted it to be kind of like just a portrait, so I'm going to use one of just the face ones for in here. I think this is the heart one that is not totally symmetrical. As you can see, that the top is a little bit lower than it should be on the right side. But it still looks nice. That could just be me being picky, but there's this cute little face going in there. And the last one for this hand, in this middle section, I wanted to use one of these ones with him laying down. Now I should have put him along the bottom line like he's laying there, but I just centered him up in the middle of there. And since this is as wide as this nail is, we're going to lose a little bit of his tail off the other side. See where it's hanging over? We're just going to nip that piece of tail off of there. And the rest of them I will do off camera, but you get the gist. We're just putting them on however you want to do it. This was the way I did it. Okay. And onward we go. There's where we are so far. And now we're going back to the glitter gel, and we're going to go over those lines that were matted, and we're going to make them so they're shiny and glittery. Now this is where you want to pay more attention and be a little more careful with your lines. And there's that one done. We're just going to go over all of these where we have the line. And then I will cure those all at once. This is the other hand. This is the other rack worth of nails on here. Whoops, I'm out of shot again. So you'll see some of the other stickers that I used for this hand. Okay, moving on. And we're going to go around the heart again. This time it's going to be much easier because it's already there. We don't have to try to eyeball anything. There was something I messed up early on with this, and I had to wipe some of this polish off and start something over. I don't remember what it was now, but when you wipe it off, it leaves a really ultra fine glitter residue on there that really is not easy to get off. So just be mindful of that if you're doing the same thing. This particular glitter polish, I got these off Ally pretty good while ago. But I like the way they work. I've never used them as polish. I've only used them for doing line work and things like that because it's a nice glitter that when you put it on, it's nice and solid. It's not like a thin, mostly top coat with a little glitter in it situation. Okay, on this nail, I had just done a couple of his feet prints. And I barely am in the shot there. And that's the last one. I'll do the other ones off camera. That's that whole rack. We're going to go and cure those now. Okay, in they go, and now we're back. Now we're going to go in with the final layer of top coat. Now this is my tempered top coat, and I'm only putting it where there's no tweed. I am making sure to cover the glitter line that we just did because I want that to stay shiny. And I don't want it to be sticky because it does have a little bit of a tack to it. We're just going to do that on all of these guys. Now I have sped this up, obviously, again. You get the gist. We want to make sure those stickers are sealed in really well. And on here, this was the trickiest one, trying to get the heart covered and the center, but not have so much in there that's running all over the place. I think this is the one where I went in with the detailer brush to go around, to go around the line a little bit with the top coat, just to make sure I got it all the way on there. And one more. And we're ready to cure. And we're coming down to the home stretch. Now we're going to do a little bit of embellishing. Not too much, just a tiny bit. Now I've got these AB hearts. I've used the peach colored ones on my peachy set that I did. I think that was last year I did that one. It turned out really nice. I was really happy with it. You guys, if you haven't seen that one, you might want to go back and find that video. Anyway, we are just going to go in with gem blue. And I'm going to put this right there where his hand is sticking up. So it looks like he's handing it. I did learn too with these AB crystals and these hearts and this stuff. If you give them a final wipe down with alcohol, you're going to take off the AB stuff and it's just going to look like kind of a plasticky thing. It doesn't look nice. So don't do that. I made that mistake on something before. See, now it looks like he's holding that up. Okay, and then it'll be ready to go into cure. Also, okay, well, let's get this one on there, and then when we get to the next part, I'll go into that. This one, the same thing. I'm going to put it right where his hand is. Whoopsie. Now see how I got that line of glue off on the top of there now? We're going to clean that off after I get the heart on there, but before we cure. And then I will just get a lint-free wipe with some alcohol, and I will wipe away that string of glue that went slopped on there. And that one's ready to cure. Okay, these, I don't know what you call these. I just call them ring beads. We're going to use a couple of these. Now, you're going to see me just put them on 2 of the fingers. But before I shot my picture for these, I decided I wanted them on the pinky nails also. Right there, I'm just trying to find 2 that are the same size and color. I decided the pinky nails needed something on there too, so I went in and put these also on the pinky nails. But you're not going to see that until you get to the very finished picture at the tail end of this. I think they needed it just to tie in more with the rest of them. But we're just going to put one of these on the top of here. I think that this is the index finger, if I remember correctly. Just going to center that off on the top. And that's ready to cure. Or not. I decided it wasn't centered totally right the way I wanted it. Alright, in you go. One more. I am going in with what seems to be kind of a lot of glue because I know from experience that I need that much for these guys to stay on, especially if they're singly placed like this. When you cluster your stuff together, it stays on really well. But when you got single items on there like that, sometimes they tend to pop off. And there we are, all done. I hope you like these. If you do, please give me a like. If you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I upload every Saturday. I really do appreciate all your likes and comments. And I enjoy doing the nails for you. And here we go with the finished picture. As you can see, now I have those on the pinky nails also. Okay, that's it for this time. See you next time. Bye-bye.